Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jump and today I'll be reviewing the Wave 4 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was released back in March of this year. Now, like with the previous waves, it's basically more Mario Kart, and I would say the new wave has some interesting tracks. It's got tracks like Waluigi Stadium, Amsterdam Drift, I believe, Singapore Speedway, DK Summit, and Mario Kart Circuit, and several others. And I would say, yeah, this is a fairly mixed wave in terms of the amount of old tracks that we have, because some of them are from tour, like the Amsterdam and Singapore tracks. We've got one from DS, from Mario DS. We've got one from the Wii Mario Kart, and yeah, I would say this is how I have had fun with these tracks. I think they're all really interesting, and again, like with a lot of the other waves that we've been given, each of them are really interlinked and really well made for the Mario Kart 8 gameplay, like with the anti-gravity, the gliding, that kind of thing. And also, this is the first wave that has a new character, that being Birdo, and that's really interesting because we haven't really seen a new character in a wave like this since probably the Wii U version of Mario Kart 8, because you had, in that game, you had the two DLC tracks for that game, and we had characters like Link, Animal Crossing Boy and Girl, and I think Dry Bones Bowser and Tanuki Mario, I believe, and as well as Cat Peach. And those are the only other characters that I can think of that were released along with DLC. Both Inkling, Boy and Girl don't really count because they were kind of added in to Mario Kart 8. But this is a really cool thing because Birdo, like with Yoshi and Shy Guy, they all have multiple coloured versions of themselves, and Birdo is the same. Birdo has multiple colours, and that's a really cool thing because now we know that a new character is in this wave, and with two more waves after this, there's the possibility of more characters being released into this wave, or into the next two waves, and seeing how they will fit into the game, and whether they could be old characters or characters from previous games like Funky Kong or Rob, or new characters that we might not have seen in the game, or that might be from other Nintendo games or something like that, and that's something really cool. And that's yeah. And now it's time for some gameplay. So when if you've got the current wave of Mario Kart 8, you'll notice that as soon as you open up the roster screen, you'll see that it's grown because of the extra characters, and the first one you'll see is Birdo, and just like with the other characters, well, no, not like the other characters, mainly Shy Guy and Yoshi, Birdo can have multiple colours, so I think that's quite a nice feature. So yeah, I'm just going to choose the pink Birdo, and then when it comes to the tracks themselves, I think they're quite nice, because you've got 3 from tour, that being Amsterdam Drift, Bangkok Rush, and Singapore Speedway. And I think this is the most amount of tour tracks, I believe, out of any of the other packs we've seen, because like all the others have about 2 tracks from tour, with one being in the first cup and the other one being in the other cup. So I'm just going to show you 2 tracks that are like from each cup, with the first one being DK Snowboard Cross. Now this is quite cool because like again like with every other track, this particular one has had some updates here and there with the Mario Kart 8 the gameplay in mind, like with the anti-gravity and stuff like that. So yeah, and yeah, I would say this is a quite cool map because you got like, you know, it's basically a mountain stage, and this is probably one of my favorite like like snowy areas, just because of all the cool stuff you can do, like all the trick shots and stuff like that. And yeah, and also I do like this part where you can do tricks on the bumps and the speed pads. And also this is another form of anti-gravity that was implemented in. Again, that's really cool of how the game uses, you know, this game uses the course to its advantage of how it plays and stuff like that. And I do like all of these like uphill things or uphill parts. I think that's really cool. And I'm going to show you another course that I do like from this cup. So another track that I like is Yoshi's Island, and one of the things I quite like about it is that I think it's really cool, and I do like I think the course is quite interesting because it's got a nice, I think it's like a really cool, interesting amount of obstacles for you to dodge. Like you've got the crabs, you've got some piranha plants here and there, and I do like how like with a bunch of the other courses, like the Legend of Zelda course, the Animal Crossing course, and I think another course, but I don't 100% remember which one, all have coins based on this particular level. And if you hit the cloud box, the mystery cloud, you'll have a ramp that goes around, basically around here on the last corner, but it kind of does a cut corner thing. And another thing that I quite like is the music, but I don't really want to play it. If you want to play it, either play the track or watch the music of it on YouTube, because I don't want to be copyrighted. But but I think because like the theme is from, I believe it's from Yoshi's Island, so that's a nice little reference to the game. It's kind of like how the Zelda and Animal Crossing packs, and I guess as well the Captain Falcon stages. I think the F-Zero courses both have, well, they all have music from their respective games, so that's quite cool. And now I'm going to show you 2 tracks that I like from the other cup. So one track I like from the from the flower track, well, the boomerang flower track, is Waluigi Stadium. And I think this is quite cool because this is one of the few stadium tracks in the whole game. And again, like with Donkey Kong, the Donkey Kong one that I showed earlier, this has ramps, or anti-gravity ramps, and again, it's really cool to see like how old tracks are implemented with this game's features, and I think that's really cool because you can it just adds more life to old tracks, and I think that's really cool. And yeah, this one is quite fun because like you can either go on, depending on where you are, I think around the middle area of the map. You can go on the rails, like up there. I think that's quite cool. Or you can just go on the lower areas of the map. It really depends on how well you do in the map. And yeah, I think this is really cool. And I think maybe there should be more stadium type maps. I think because I know there's Waluigi. No, there's the Wario Stadium, and I know there's the Exeter Bike stadium track back, I think, in the Triforce Cup. That or the other one as part of the Legend of Zelda pack. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, now I'm going to show you another course that I like from this pack, or from this particular Boomerang Cup. So another one that I do like is Singapore Speedway. Now I would say out of all of the tour tracks, I'll probably say this is my favourite one out of all of them, because I think this is a really interesting and cool looking map. I think out of every single one, out of all the tour tracks, this is the most colourful looking one, and it takes you to a lot of various areas, and instead of just taking you backwards on the third lap. And again, you know, this does do it, this particular track, but it does it in such a way it doesn't feel old, because even though the previous tour tracks have had you go backwards on some of the areas, it still feels fun of just going past other areas, or going to new areas of the map. I think that's what makes this probably my favourite one, because I just feel like it's colourful, and it feels like the most interesting one. And I'm not saying the other tour tracks weren't as interesting. I just feel like this is probably my favourite one, and just because of it, I think it just stands out more. And yeah, it doesn't overstay its welcome. I think it does really cool stuff, and yeah, I think, and also what I like about this, this also doesn't make you go go on the third lap, but where the original starting point was. So I think that's really good and cool, because I don't think the other tour tracks do that sort of thing. It's just it doesn't make you start at doesn't make you do the final lap on this where the starting point is. It's kind of like how the Nintendo 64 Rainbow Road does it, I think, in this version of the game, where you have to where you have like several where you have the laps on several in several parts of the lap. So I think that's really cool and interesting. So that's been it for the gameplay. Now it's time to go back to the review. So overall, I would say that Wave 4 is quite fun. I think it's really enjoyable. I think the addition of Birdo is really interesting, because that means we could have more potential characters that can be brought into the game to have some more fun around, and in terms of like how they can work with different bikes and karts and that kind of thing. And maybe this is just a bit of a thing that I like to think about. Maybe if we get new characters, maybe they could bring in bikes or karts from their series, kind of like how Link did a bit with his Skyward Sword version and his Breath of the Wild version, in terms of when both those versions of Link were brought in, they both brought in the Master Cycle and the Master Cycle Zero, with the Master Cycle being its own thing, and the Master Cycle Zero being from the DLC from Breath of the Wild. So maybe there could be new cards as well, possibly. That's just a speculation. I'm not saying it's going to 100% happen. I think it's just going to be a nice little sort of thing that could happen if we got characters being brought into the game, and that'd be something quite cool. So overall, I would say, if you haven't played it yet, I would say play this version, or play this wave of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And yeah, so that's been my review for Mario Kart 8, or for the current wave. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.